Hey now, Samal now, and welcome to the International Auto Show. We have a lot to show you today. So this is Monty Style. We are doing Motorhead and design. So let's go, let's get moving. Hey now, Samal now. And hi guys, welcome to Monty Style again. Remember in December I did the BMW concept cars? Well, guess what? Once again, I am bringing it to you live. Here is the i3 and here is the i8. These are all full electric cars. These I will not even call Evo cars. I will call them electric power, fast, economical cars. If you want really good quality cars, like I said, Tesla, BMW, Mercedes, hey, that's my thing. But once again, take a good look at their concepts because they are bringing these to life. Once again, this is the i3 and the i8. Welcome to Monty Style once again. We're not doing Motorhead this week for him and her. This is design. So hey, check it out. Hi, and once again, we are still at the BMW display. This is Richard. He is one of BMW's best guys.
So Monty's at least.
Yes, it is. Thank you. So, but he's going to give us a lot of information about the i3 first, because the i3 actually looks like a family vehicle. So, what is this vehicle?
Well, what you're looking at here is something, a new sub-brand from BMW. Everybody's heard about the M sub-brand, very high-performance cars.
Yes.
We now have an I sub-brand, which is very fuel-efficient, in this case, battery electric. These are purpose-built electric cars. They're not a conversion. They're not taking an old existing chassis and then finding a way to get some batteries in them. These are purpose-built from the ground up with this idea of what we call the Life Drive module. What it is,
Life Drive
module is basically two components, sort of an old-school body-on-frame design, but it's modernized for the future. You have an aluminum platform, sandwich platform where the batteries are mounted down low in a nice simple rectangle, easy for assembly, easy for repair. And mounted to that is the Life module, which is made out of carbon fiber. The same material you know from Formula One racing, extremely strong, extremely lightweight, and that weight savings that we have from carbon fiber allows us to put less batteries in the car. Batteries are heavy and batteries are expensive. Carbon fiber is not cheap either, but the net result between you do the math between putting more batteries, heavy batteries, or putting carbon fiber in, we went that route with the carbon fiber approach.
Okay though, Richard, but if you're not putting that many batteries in it, how far does it go on a charge?
We have some experience with our electric program. We had the Mini E program a couple of years back, and then we have the Active E program, which is this car right over here.
Which was the BMW 3 though, right?
Series conversion, which we've got most of them on the road as we speak. They came to 700 come to the US out of 1,100 globally. We have a lot of experience about people driving EVs, and our conclusions and our feedback from our consumer base is that a 100-mile range, which this car does, that car does, is more than sufficient for all your needs. What's neat about the i3, it comes in sort of two combinations. The normal combination is a pure battery electric, 80 to 100 miles in regular real-world conditions. But if you find yourself a little bit concerned about what we call range anxiety, you can also order as an option. It doesn't come with all of them. Order as an option a small gas motor with a very small gas tank, which allows you to essentially double your range. If you find yourself running low, don't be nervous about range anxiety. You have a small gas motor that kicks in, gets you where you need to be, then you can plug it in and charge again.
Oh, so wait a minute. You're telling me that this has a small gas motor?
As an option.
As an option.
That's right.
Okay, so then in real world time, does this actually get 80 miles on the highway, or is it getting a full 100 miles on one charge?
It really depends on driving conditions and who's in the car, and how much you're using the HVAC, heating and ventilation, outside temperature. All those things do make it. And of course, the way you use the throttle does affect the driving range. So all these come into play.
So where is the engine at?
Engine in this case is a very small electric motor. Batteries take up the majority in that drive module, as I mentioned.
Yes.
The electric motor is over the rear axle. Relatively small, very compact design. And next to it, if you do order the range extender option, what we call BEV Plus, the small gas motor is mounted alongside the electric motor over the rear axle.
So then is it something like, let's say, a moped?
It's not like a moped.
Like the little moped engine? No, I'm just asking that question.
No, in terms of the origin of the
Yes.
gas motor, yeah, it comes from our motorcycle. We obviously, BMW has motorcycles within our range, so we've taken some technology from our motorcycle family and have applied that in.
And yes, you have great motorcycles. I love them. Yes, you do. I have to compliment you on that.
This car looks very futuristic, but it's not far away from reality. Arrives here late 2013, more or less what you see here.
So late 2013 actually means like around November and December.
Yes, right around that.
Okay, so my last question is this a family vehicle?
It's as you can see, it's got 4 doors, 4 seats. It's really meant for megacities or urban environments, suburban environments, people coming in and out of Manhattan.
So this vehicle here is going to be used for urban environments.
It's geared for people that are doing traditional, normal commuting.
Okay.
Of course, you can put a full family of 4. Not that every family has 4 people. And I wouldn't take it on vacation for argument's sake, but you certainly would use it for a commuter car.
And the suicide doors, is that going to be one of their production?
You will see that combination. Yes.
So how much trunk space does it have? How much cubic feet?
I don't have the specifics on that. It has a fairly simple, squarish compartment, but it's not. You're not going to put your bike in there.
And I said my last question, but this will be my last question because I want to talk about the i8.
Yeah, of course.
Is this going to be able to start with my iPad?
Will it what? With your iPad?
Will I be able to start this vehicle with my iPhone or my iPad?
You can precondition the car using grid power, so it's parked in your garage or you're at work, but it's plugged into the grid. You can use your iPad.
Can you explain preconditioned for me?
Sure, preconditioning. Really good idea. As I mentioned before, weather conditions will affect the range of the vehicle. So before you jump in the car, you can use your iPad and say, okay, I'm going to be leaving my house at 7 in the morning. Precondition my car before I get in it. So it'll precondition the cabin to 72 degrees Fahrenheit and also circulate fluid through the battery pack so the battery's at the optimal temperature to handle the colder conditions. Same in hot conditions. If it's a really hot day, you can circulate the fluid, cool down the interior, and cool down the battery pack so it's always at optimal temperature. And the way you do that, you're using the power from the grid, not from the batteries in the car.
So what you're actually telling me, this car will be a great vehicle for lazy people, late people, and people that want to have their coffee in the morning.
You know who it's for? It's for my kids. I have the Active-E and I have preconditioning on my Active-E, and when it's cold in the morning, I dial it up. They don't need to put their heavy jackets on. They jump in the car at 72 degrees.
My kind of car. Now we're going to go talk about the i8.
Sure.
So this is the i8. It actually looks like their sports roadster. So tell me a little bit something about this.
This is the other end of the i brand family. So we talked
Rear
about
drive,
the i3.
or-
This is in some ways all-wheel drive. It has 2 different powertrains in the car. It has electric motors driving the front wheels, and it has a gas motor. It's a plug-in hybrid driving the rear wheels. So you can go up to about 20 miles in pure electric range if you so desire. And if you really want to stand on the throttle and go for it, both motors kick in, and you have front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, so essentially all-wheel drive. Gets you to 0 to 60 well under 5 seconds. Almost 400 horsepower combined between the 2 motors.
Wow.
Now, when the battery pack is depleted, then of course you have a rear-wheel drive driven by the gas motor in the rear.
So then, what's the torque on this? And
This thing is not far away either, including the scissor doors. Everybody looks at the scissor doors, they go, it's a concept that won't happen. The scissor doors will happen. There'll be some changes, some of the glass won't be there. But the scissor doors are here, and that car arrives in 2014.
in 2014.
Sir.
Okay, now Motor Trend did a really big article on this, and they called it the Invisible BMW. What do you think about that?
I've not seen that article. I'd like to read what they mean by that.
Well, they were saying that in the sunlight, when you looked at it, it looked like it was invisible.
mirage.
Right.
I like that. I like that analogy. The car looks incredible. So it's incredibly efficient and incredibly quick, and it looks incredible as well. So what a combination.
Horsepower?
Between the 2 motors, when you kick them both in, a little short of 400.
And what about the tires?
One of the things we have with both i-brand cars, very tall, very narrow tires. Rolling resistance is, again, one of the things that affect range. So that's one of the things. These are very tall. I think these are 20s. I'm not sure what these are. And they're very narrow. So that allows you to extend your range.
Because the body looks very high from the tires, but then as you're looking at the streamline, it looks very low.
It's something to do with that ratio. You're exactly right.
So this is only going to be a 4-passenger.
It's a 2+2. I mean, there are rear seats. You'd have to be somewhat small to get in the rear seats, but it's definitely a 2+2.
So this will be BMW's i8 new sports sedan, or what will it be called?
I think it's a sport coupe is probably the best way to describe it. You like that?
Can you tell
coupe?
that to the camera?
Sports coupe.
I like that. So Richard, it was great interviewing you. BMW has picked out a real good spokesperson, and I actually want to ask you my last question. When are we going for a ride?
Come back in 2014, we'll take you for a ride.
I always get gypped. Hey now, Salmano, this is Richard, BMW spokesperson.
Thanks.